You got it? Oh, you don't got your phone up? Yeah, it's going. Where's the other brother?
Or the Syrian brother? I don't know. Who was it? First still there.
He might have went down. Now Hamza's on his way, so. Alright, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى باب هل يعين عبده. Alright, so we're on chapter number 97, and this is the chapter هل يعين عبده. So to help. Alright, if and this is the same narration, the same meaning that we've gone over for the last maybe 3 or 4 chapters. Is that you don't give any person, regardless if the person's a servant, even if it's a person who's mustajir, like a person that you're giving ujra to, somebody that you're paying a wage to, you don't give the person more work than they can handle. And if you do give them more work than they can handle, then what do you do? Free him? I don't know. No. If you give the person too much work than they can handle, what do you do? If you give him too much work, and it's too much, it's beyond his capabilities to finish, what do you do?
Let him take a break.
Let him take, man, you guys, are you guys even paying attention to these classes? You help them.
Okay. Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was my
He said free him, and you said give him a break. Almost done. All right. So hadith number 190. Wait, did we already? No, we're not on this chapter. We did this yesterday. Yes or no? Yeah. We're on chapter 98. باب لا يكلف العبد من العمل ما لا يطيق. It's just the same. It's the same chapter, right? So the chapter is that you don't, put the burden on the servant more than what? More than he's capable of doing, more than his capabilities of work. And it's connected to the chapter before this. So this is the chapter 198. Hadith number 192. حدثنا عبد الله بن يزيد قال حدثنا سعيد بن أبي أيوب قال حدثني ابن عجلان. Ibn Ajlan is who? You got to change the narrations, right? Who's Ibn Ajlan?
Which hadith are you
192. We've at least taken Ibn Ajlan like 5 times in the last week. Anta ma'adhur. You're excused, man. Muhammad ibn Ajlan. Because you're going to keep staring at it, but the answer is not just going to pop up out the page. It's like Muhammad ibn Ajlan. Write that down. All right, Muhammad ibn Ajlan. And Bukhair ibn Abdullah and Ajlan. Ajlan is the father of Muhammad. All right, he's Muhammad ibn Ajlan's father, so he narrated on Bukhair ibn Abdullah, and who narrated from his father. So he didn't narrate from his father directly here. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال للمملوك طعامه وكسوته ولا يكلف من العمل ما لا يطيق. So here Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه, he reported that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said for the slave, because al-mamluk, we said that that's used for what? A slave, not for a servant. All right, the servant is doing is working by choice. He's working by choice. What? You want some ice cream, Akhi? Nah, you got to, man. You're out late. This is Ben & Jerry's. This will get you sick. Don't worry.
No, I don't like anything with sugar.
No, this has got a lot of sugar. Boy, come on, man. Eat it. Well, you're not gonna eat. Come on, man. Which one is this one? What flavor?
Strawberry cheesecake.
Oh, that's a good one too. Have you had it before? Oh, it's good. This boy comes up in here with like all these Ben & Jerry's, man, trying to kill her. You think? جزاك الله خير. وصاحبنا. Now he'll bring it to you. Relax. I told you he was raised up in Yemen, I think. I said he was raised up in Yemen. He knows how to serve the guests. Don't worry, relax.
I told him when I came.
He's not the Western child. All right. So, Anna Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so he said, for the slave, so the rights are what? You have to feed, like, ta'amahu, his food, wa kiswatahu, his clothing. Now, what of the clothing is wajib, and what of the clothing is mustahab? You know wajib and mustahab?
Yeah, wajib's like obligatory, right?
And mustahab what?
It's like beloved.
Yeah, it's like, it's beloved that you do this. Like, this action is beloved, so you should do it.
Isn't it new clothing? It's
Yeah. No, not the new clothing, but yeah, the clothing that you wear. The exact clothing that you wear is mustahab. But what's the wajib? يعني بالمعروف. كسوتهم بالمعروف. What does that mean?
like their clothing is like halal.
Not. See, ma'ruf can also be used for halal, right? Yeah. Right. But what it means here is bin ma'ruf is like basically based on the urf. Based on the urf of the customs of the people, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. So, you have to at least give them clothing that's sufficient for them, that's acceptable amongst the people. If it's not, so like for example, it depends on the culture that you live in, the country that you live in, and your means. So if you have more money, you clothe them in better clothing, and you want to do that, because again, like the Prophet ﷺ said, that your brothers, regardless of the status, regardless of what the situation is, we don't try to mistreat people, and we don't try to look down on people, so whatever, we try to help people out. So he said, لِلْمَمْلُوكِ طَعَامُهُ وَكِسْوَتَهُ وَلَا يُكَلَّفُ مِنَ الْعَمَلِ مَا لَا يُطِيقُ. And he's not burdened with work that he's not capable of carrying out. Alright, so لَا يُكَلَّفُ. Taklif means what? You sure you're out of me? Too much living in America though, right? Yeah. Yeah, taklif, it means like a responsibility, burden, to place that responsibility on somebody. Like we're like mukallaf. We have to bear the responsibility of our sins and what we do. We're going to be held accountable for this. Alright, so that's taklif min al-amal ma la yutiq. Alright, yutiq, it means that he's not capable. Like don't give him a responsibility, a burden of work that he's not capable of carrying out. This hadith is in Sahih Muslim, but it's not in Sahih Bukhari. All right, but it is in Adab al-Mufrad. So Bukhari narrated it in here, but he didn't narrate it in his Sahih. But it is in Sahih Muslim. All right, so same meaning, hadith number 193. حدثني عبد الله قال حدثني الليث قال حدثني ابن عجلان. Abdullah, who is that? Huh? Are you just making up names now?
No, you told me that earlier.
No, Abdullah, if he narrates from Layth, is Abdullah ibn Salih. Alright, Katib al-Layth. Katib al-Layth. Fihi da'af. I mean, his narrations are a little bit weak. But here, obviously, not in this case, because this hadith is in what? This hadith is also in Sahih Muslim. So he has like you have what they call a mutaba', right? So as long as, he's supported, he has other narrations that support him, then there's no issue. Alright, so حدثني الليث قال حدثني ابن عجلان. Ibn Ajlan, who? Muhammad ibn Ajlan. Muhammad ibn Ajlan. And Bukhair and Ajlan, so same chain of narration, except for what? The chain of narration is the same from Muhammad ibn Ajlan, but the other two narrators at the beginning, the Bukhari is narrating from, they're different. All right, so he said Abu Muhammad because what? Who's his son? Huh? Yeah, his son is Muhammad ibn Ajlan, so he's Abu Muhammad. So that's why he said Bukhair and Ajlan Abu Muhammad حدثه قبيل وفاته أنه سمع أبا هريرة رضي الله عنه يقول قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم للمملوك طعامه وكسوته ولا يكلف إلى ما يطيق. So here, this is Abu Muhammad Aizlan. He said, حدثه قبيل وفاته. قبيل, what does that mean?
ممكن بالعربي؟
هات بالعربي.
قبيل تصغير قبل، يعني في مدة قريبة الموت.
ما شاء الله ذكي. أنت درست اللغة العربية ها؟
الحمد لله.
لا أنا أقصد يعني زائد عن المدرسة. نعم صحيح. قبيل is a تصغير from قبل. So it means like يعني يعني قريب جدا. You know, like very, very close to the time of his death. All right. Because you would say قبل وفاته, but قبل is, you know, it's not really specified. But once you say قبيل, it's like very, very close to the time of his death. So he said this قبيل وفاته, close to his death. أنه سمع أبا هريرة رضي الله عنه, that he heard Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه يقول قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم said للمملوك, so for the slave طعامه وكسوته ولا يكلف إلا ما يطيق. So for the slave is his food and his clothing, ولا يكلف إلا ما يطيق. So he's not burdened or held responsible for work except for that which he's capable of doing. And as we read in the previous hadith, if you do give him work that he's not capable of doing, what? فَعِينُوهُ, and then assist him and go and help him. Alright, so this hadith also, it's the same hadith, it's just a different chain of narration from the first two narrators of the hadith. Alright, حدثنا مسدد قال حدثنا يحيى عن الأعمش. من الأعمش؟ Come on. وش اسمه الأعمش؟
لا يحضرني اسمه وأعرف رواية الأحاديث، لكن لا يحضرني اسمه. الأعمش بمعنى الأعمى، لكن
إيه.
اسمه
الأعمش is سليمان ibn Mihran. Sulaiman ibn Mihran. Anybody say it here? Yeah. Hamid got it. But, yeah. You gotta change that tab to a noon, Hamid. So, yeah, somebody online got it. Open it. Just open it and run. Alright. So he said after that, عن الأعمش قال معرور مررنا بأبي ذر وعليه ثوب وعلى غلامه حلة. And then we read this narration before. And what was the wording that we read before? So Abu Dharr, he had on what? As we talked about a hulla, what is a hulla?
Piece we wear.
ضيفنا.
لباس جميل غالي.
Alright, but it has to be from the same type of cloth. Alright, so if it's the top is like new and the bottom part is old, that's not a hulla. Regardless, you know, if the top part is like one type of kumash or one type of fabric and the bottom part, so a hulla is like the same, it has the same pattern and the same, yeah, and it's from a good quality of fabric. Alright, so what Abu Dharr did was instead of him wearing the hulla and his servant wearing the hulla and not wearing, just wearing the older clothes, so Abu Dharr, what did he do?
جعلوا يلبس نفس الشيء.
ايش هو؟
جعلوا يلبس نفس الشيء.
لا مش نفس الشيء يعني هو أعطاه يعني so Abu Dharr, he gave him what? He gave him one piece of the new clothing and Abu Dharr took one piece of the old clothing. So Abu Dharr had one new piece of clothing and one old piece, and his servant had one new and one old. And that's why they asked him, you know, would you not just take the new piece of clothing from the servant and give him back the old piece so you have a hulla? And then he would have a different type of hulla because they'd be the same type of fabric. But then, you know, he mentioned this hadith is about to be mentioned. So here he says, call it, wait. No, I'm skipping now. Abu Dharr alayhi thawb wa ala ghulamihi hulla. So this is not the correct wording that we saw from before. Because what he means by thawb and alayhi ala ghulamihi hulla, that means that he gave his servant what? The boy. He gave him the good clothing and he kept all the older clothing and like the lesser quality clothing. And we saw from the different narrations that he mixed and matched, so that they were wearing the exact same thing.
So he didn't mix it?
Oh, he did mix.
Oh, he didn't.
So they wore exactly the same thing. Yeah. وعلى غلامه حلة فقلنا لو أخذت هذا وأعطيت هذا غيره. So they said to him, they said, if you just take this and give this to somebody, to somebody else, like, because he gave this, the best clothing for a servant. So obviously the people are surprised, like, what are you doing? Because again, this is not wajib. All right, but this is from what? Yeah, because this was the advice that the Prophet ﷺ gave him, and you see how he took the advice. He didn't go up and say, oh, well, this is not wajib, I'm not going to do it. He did it, And this is what we see constantly from the Sahaba. They didn't question anything, right? Once the Prophet ﷺ told them to do something, they did it. And they didn't question it. All right. So he said, فَقُلْنَا لَوْ أَخَذْتَ هَذَا وَأَعْطَيْتَ هَذَا غَيْرَهُ كانت حُلَّة, So, and basically it goes back to the previous hadith. If you were to, take back what you gave him from the new clothing and give him back the old clothing, then he'd have 2 pieces of old clothing and you'd have 2 pieces of nicer clothing. Then you'd have a hulla, And he said, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and this is the hadith that he's going to mention now. إخوانكم جعلهم الله عز وجل تحت أيديكم. He said they're your brothers, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put them underneath your hands, like as you're now, in your possession. But that doesn't take them that doesn't mean that you can what? Mistreat them or not fulfill the rights. No, just because there's a responsibility. It's a big responsibility because they're still your brothers. He said تحت أيديكم فمن كان أخوه تحت يدي, and whoever's brother is is in possession, like he's in control of his hand, basically his possession, right? He said فليطعمه مما يأكل, and let him feed him from what he eats. وَلْيُلْبِسْهُ مِمَّا يَلْبَسْ, and let him clothe him from what he wears. وَلَا يُكَلِّفُ مَا يَغْلِبُهُ, and don't give him any responsibility, مَا يَغْلِبُهُ, that which will become, will overpower him, and he won't be able to carry out that task. فَإِنْ كَلَّفَهُ مَا يَغْلِبُهُ فَلْيَعِنْهُ عَلَيْهِ, and if he does give him that responsibility of something that's beyond his power and capabilities, then he should assist him. And this hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. This one is muttafaqun alayh. So basically, like I said, it's just a continuation of the abwab that we read before. Now we only have, let me see. Once we get to chapter 108, then we're going to go into different. So we still got about 15 more, a little more than 17 more hadiths, inshallah. And then the subject matter changes. Any questions online? And I want to make a statement from yesterday, because I was really tired and I went back and listened to, went back and kind of flipped through the live stream from yesterday. Yeah, that was a mistake. I was meaning to talk about az-Zuhri when I was given the example of the Tabi'een and Atba' Tabi'een, because Sufyan al-Thawri is from the Atba' Tabi'een, from the Tabi' or Tabi'een, he's not from the Tabi'een. But I was meaning to speak about az-Zuhri. When I went back and I looked at it, I was like, man, Sufyan al-Thawri, what? Well, yeah, Sufyan al-Thawri is from the Atba' Tabi'een. Sufyan al-Thawri, Sufyan ibn Uyayna, all of them from the Atba' Tabi'een. Striving slave says, saw someone mention that they don't overburden their worker as if they were doing them a favor. Due to these lessons, I was thinking, subhanAllah, that's the right of the worker. Yeah, that's what, we live in a time where people want to get praised for things that's an obligation for them to do. I pray 5 times a day. Yeah, akhi, you're supposed to pray 5 times a day. That's what keeps you in Islam, you understand? That's your duty as a Muslim. That's not something that you should be seeking praise for. Praying in the masjid is a duty for the Muslim. Fasting in Ramadan is a duty. Fulfilling these rights. You see, if we look at Adab al-Mufrad, what hadith number are we on right now?
192.
All right, look at this now. And I said that this is going to continue on until about 212. All right, so 211 hadiths, right? What's been the subject matter of these 211 hadiths? You haven't been here for them all, but what's been the main subject matter of all these 211 hadiths?
What's your manners and your etiquette?
Now, he hasn't even really gotten into the manners yet. You know, that's what I'm saying. In a little bit, then he's going to start to get into the manners, you know, the manners of smiling, the manners of how you enter a person's house, and all this is coming. But here for 212 hadiths.
Mu'amala.
Huh?
Mu'amala.
All of the book is mu'amala. Huh?
Fulfilling the rights to people.
Exactly. Alhamdulillah. Asabta. Fulfilling the rights of people. So you see, he's going through the rights of every single person that has rights over you. So he started with the parents, then he went to the mother, then he went to the father, then he went to the child, to the parents, then he went to the neighbors, all right, then he went to the servants, then he went to the slaves. So you see, he's going through all the rights that everybody. All right, you out. You leave. All right, where is that at? Huh? Okay, inshallah. Come back and visit, inshallah. Inshallah. Hayakumullah. All right, salam. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So 212 hadiths are what? Just fulfilling the rights of people. To show you that the important, before he even got into the whole manners, you know, because these rights, what's more important? Smiling for a person, or for, you know, and trampling on their rights? Or maybe you frown but you fulfill their rights. Which would be better? Yeah, because these rights are more, this is oppression to other people. You know, if I don't smile for you, I'm not oppressing you. But if I don't fulfill your rights as a Muslim, as my Muslim brother, then I've oppressed you. You know, and now we have oppression, and now we have destruction of brotherhood. If I have neighbors, you know, that are, even if they're kuffar, and I don't fulfill their rights as neighbors, I annoy them, I cause a lot of noise, I throw garbage on their property, you know, I have my, you know, kids screaming and yelling and breaking things in their yard and type, you know, this type of stuff, right? What is their view of Islam going to be? Exactly, they're just going to look like, man, these Muslimun, wuhush, I mean, they're like, what's a wuhush? I know you know this word.
They're disgusting.
Not disgusting, like they act like beasts.
Oh yeah.
You know, like wild animals, you know. They're not trained, like they're not, you know, there's no manners or civility.
I was confused on how I was gonna like say it in English.
Yeah, because I know you've heard this in the house. Yeah. Yeah, wash. I don't know if this is a Syrian thing, but it's definitely a Yemeni thing, right? All right. But, yeah, so I mean, that's the importance, man, the rights. And before we get into anything else, it's fulfilling these rights. So that's not a joke. And these are rights. That means it's an obligation. It's not something that's, you know, if you, all right, you have the hukuk, which are wajibah. And then you have those things that are what? Mustahabba. The praiseworthy thing is for the person fulfilling those hukuk al-wajibah, which are an obligation, those rights, those obligatory rights, and given, you know, those extra rights that he doesn't have to give. Those things that he doesn't have to give. And that's where you say, like, those are the praiseworthy qualities. But like him fulfilling his rights, that's his duty. That's what he's going to be held accountable for on the day of judgment. That's not something that he can sit there and, you know, he should just be happy and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the ability to fulfill the rights and that he doesn't meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment with all this type of oppression. But yeah, subhanAllah. We live in a crazy time, man. Crazy, crazy time. Is it a bid'ah to sing or recite in a beautiful voice the morning and evening azkar? And if so, is it permissible to listen to it as some may do? I wouldn't do it. That's not the way that they used to recite things. And when even in the Prophet ﷺ, when he would give the khutbah, you know, when he would say that he would mention the ayats, he would not go and just recite them like he would recite in the salah. You know, he would recite them. He would say the ayat in the normal way, just like you do in any khutbah, right? And the same thing with the adhkar, the recitation of a hadith and things like this. You know, just recite it in a normal voice. I wouldn't go so far. Like for me personally, I wouldn't make that statement unless the ulama said it that it's bid'ah. I wouldn't. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't say that. If somebody knew from the ulama that they said it's bid'ah, then. But as far as being something that we should not do, and we should. I mean, that's not how they read. They didn't sing everything. You understand? But this is again, we live in strange times. I'm asking for a sister. She says my dad has waswas. So if one washes the rug from the bathroom in the washer, he wants to wash the washer. Allah Mustaan. How many people like that? So many people. I've heard so many stories like this. He wants to wash the washer before putting his clothes in, even though a lot of water is being used in the previous load. Do I have to obey him in this, in washing the washer empty? If he commands you to do it, but you should try to advise him and teach him, because the rug itself is not najasa just because it's in the bathroom. Again, the asl of everything is what? Y'all better eat that ice cream before y'all start.
I don't have a spoon.
Okay. Sorry, man, I'm keeping you running all over the place. Because pretty soon you're going to be drinking it. You ain't got to worry about a spoon. But try to teach them, because the thing about it is the foundational principle when we talk about things is that what? It's tahara, that it's clean, it's pure. Just because something is in the bathroom does not make it impure. All right, now if you know for sure, like you have a little brother that just goes in there and sprays the place down, like there's something that gives you some type of what? Substantial doubt, some real doubt. Not just doubt like what's ours doubt, like, but actual factual doubt. Like my young son, if he heard me telling, but this was when he was younger, because he was scared a lot, because obviously, all the moving around and the stuff that he had to go through as a young kid. So at night, he would be afraid to go in the bathroom. So obviously, this is, because we had those in the ground toilets. Not the French, overseas they call this a merhal al-Faransi, like the French commode. But the ones that are in the ground. He would stand at the door, he'd be too scared to go in the bathroom, so he'd stand at the door and just go Pearl Harbor on the bathroom. So what you get is you get a lot of cleaning all the time, because he's like spreading the wealth all around the bathroom, right? Letting us know, what he's got, but a long time. But yeah, man. So, and you can smell it. You can smell like the urine. So you got to come and scrub it down. But I mean, obviously, back in those days, because we didn't have these rugs in the bathroom. But if you had a rug in the bathroom, you could sit there and say, okay, there is a strong possibility, because this boy doing his Pearl Harbor routine, on Hawaii, right? Thinking like the toilet's Hawaii and it's bouncing and shooting all over the place, then there's a good chance that it got on the rugs. But when we're talking about people that are grown up, that know how to go to the restroom properly, nobody's running around getting pee and urine and stuff all over these rugs and stuff like that. So the asl of it goes back to like what it's not, it's not, it's not najis. And then if he wants to save on water, he doesn't have to wash them in a washer. Take the rugs out of the bathroom, right? Soak them in water. Like take a bucket of water, soak them. And then, all right, soak them, do it with hands, hang them up, let them dry out, then wash them. Because at least you know that you got the, whatever you think of najasas out, and you save on water and electricity, because obviously running the washer, washing the rugs and washing the washer, that's too much work, and that's too much, but Allah Mustaan.
Those, the in-the-ground toilets, those were in Yemen or Saudi or both?
In Saudi, we have both toilets.
Okay.
We had one they were next to each other, so we had one regular toilet and one in the ground toilet. Yeah. But in Yemen, yeah, mostly in the older houses, all in the ground toilets. But in the newer houses, you have both.
Okay.
Like the last house that we had in Yemen, we have both. I'm trying to see where I was at now. Yeah. Hamid Jamal says, instead, most people think praying five daily more is the most righteous person. Yeah, because we live in a society where a lot of the Muslims don't even pray at all. So Allah musta'an.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's that?
Delivery. Special.
Who's that for?
For everyone.
All right.
But I didn't know I sang wrong. It's okay.
All right. In the bus, look at them. Look at these guys.
They got some too.
But I'm saying, look at them. Look at these. Do they look like they're ready for tacos right now?
Hey, you know, I'm hungry myself.
Hey, go get her. There's one more Ben and Jerry's. Ask
Is that strawberry?
strawberry cheesecake.
Nah,
There's one more. I said, you put it back in the freezer. Huh? What? Oh, that's Hakum Mujahid.
Oh, you put Mujah.
Striving slave said, SubhanAllah, there was a time when people would revert due to watching Muslims do business. Now avoid Muslim businesses due to some cheating. Allah musta'an. That's actually the history of Indonesia. The history of Indonesia is that the people from Hadramaut, and they went there and they did business with them, and they were accustomed to doing business with other people that were ripping them off and cheating them and doing, because people just, they go there just to make money. But what they noticed with the Hadara is that they were very, very honest and they were very serious, and then they saw them praying, they saw them, just the way that they were, and they didn't cheat them in business. So that caused, like now, look at this, like this is how it started, right? And now the most populated Muslim country in the world is what? Indonesia.
Really?
Yeah, it's the most populated Muslim country in the whole entire world. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they got like the 4th or 5th highest population in the world. Check it online, check it. I think it's like number 4. It's not number 4, it's number 5 now.
I think it's within top 10 though.
Huh?
I think definitely for sure top 10.
It's what? No, it's top 5. Because you got China and India as 1 and 2, right? I think India is overtaking China, right? And then you got America. And then you got, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Indonesia.
I think it's Brazil.
Yeah.
What is it?
First it says USA.
No, USA number 1. That's impossible. Get a new list.
One is India. 2 is China.
So India took over. India's taken over now.
3 is United States. And 4 is Indonesia.
4 is Indonesia. Good. And number 5 is what?
Pakistan.
Talking about Brazil, man. Yeah. So Pakistan is the 2nd. What's the difference in population between Pakistan and Indonesia? So that's number 2 as far as Muslim, like Islam, like, huh? Because you got to keep in mind, not the entire population of Indonesia is Muslim. Huh?
30 مليون بس الفرق يعني بين الاثنين
Huh?
الفرق بين الاثنين 30 مليون
Okay. Like 32 million difference.
You looking it up too? All right. Instead, can there be a day when we review all of the hadith or try to summarize each chapter? Shoo. Should have done that in the beginning. Almost time. Omar said, Ustad, how do I explain to my father that sending money to some religious person that makes dua for his family is wrong? How do I explain to my father that sending money to some religious person that makes dua for his family is wrong? I don't understand the question. Like, is he talking about, the only thing that I can make out that you're trying to say is that he's sending him money so he makes dua. Or if that's the purpose, then no, that's not. If that's what you're talking about, that's not permissible. You give sadaqah, and you give it for seeking the pleasure of Allah. You do it for Allah, and you make dua for yourself. If you're doing something that's pleasing to Allah, you don't need other people to make dua for you. You can make dua for yourself. And if it's a real righteous person, you don't need to send that person money. You can go to a sheikh and say, "Oh, sheikh, please make dua for me and my family."
This is from what you did. This is from what.
What are you doing, man?
Well, I clicked on YouTube and I'm not gonna.
What did you do? What is he saying? This is what you did. What did you do?
زامل
Huh?
زامل.
Oh, you gave him the zawamil.
Send me so I clicked.
Oh my
It was from
God.
last night.
And he's been sitting there listening to you. Sent him zawamil.
زامل بس هو بس واحد بس يعني كثير دخل.
Allah Musta'an. The people don't know what zawamil are. They are like, it's like Yemeni poetry, recited in a very Yemeni way.
Aggressive sometimes.
Aggressive. It's mostly they use it in war and things like that. So yeah.
The Shah comes in.
Question regarding chapter of ghusl, do we got to make wudu after the shower? You can make wudu anytime that you want. During the ghusl, the Prophet ﷺ made the ghusl in different manners, but he started off with the wudu. In the narrations that we taken in Bukhari, he started off with the wudu. Hamid Jamal says, what was the khutbah about? What was the khutbah about?
Mercy.
Ah, come on.
Not losing hope. And forgiving.
I did not say anything about losing
No,
hope.
like
And that,
the concept.
Allah did not bring one
I know.
ayat about losing hope in that whole entire khutbah. Out of every single ayat that I quoted, I did not quote one ayat talking about losing hope.
No, not really. Like,
Somebody's not paying attention.
no, the concept. I'm telling you. Look at like.
And he's telling me, okay, tell me what the khutbah was about since I gave it.
You have to work within there.
Huh?
You have to work very hard to be it from the righteous.
I did not talk about that.
No, like we said.
I'm glad you asked this question, Hamid, because it's starting to expose my students now.
No. You said like عدة المتقين, and then you.
You
started
take
explaining.
one ayat, man, Ibni, what was the khutbah about?
زي يعني كيف اسمه يعني كيف تكون من ال
No, he doesn't know a ta'bir, كيف يعبر. So he's
كيف
trying.
تكون من المفضلين أو كذا يعني كيف تدخل يعني كيف تكون يعني كيف الله يغفر لك ذنوبك هذا الشيء.
Al-asbab. Right, what are the asbab that you have to take to gain the mercy and forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Like, there are asbab, like, the mercy and the forgiveness is not just handed to everybody, because if it was just handed to everybody, then what would be the miza? What would be the thing that distinguishes the real believer from, the wishy-washy Muslim and the, you know what I'm saying? So that's the asbab al-maghfirah wa rahmah. Yeah. Hey, man. Hey. That
No,
work
yeah.
is, work
I mean,
is
that's
messy.
really
It's
what
probably
it is.
breathing in all that taco grease.
You didn't let me finish. I was about.
Nah, yeah, I was going to see what he said, I swear.
And then you talk about Toba, and then being upright after Toba.
Oh, what is this now? All right, what else? I'm hungry. That masjid is always eating. Now, we're not always eating good, trust me. Most of the times we come here, didn't eat most of the day, go home and eat a sandwich. Some of the people went to Hadramaut, went to Bangladesh. Yeah, I mean, the Hadramaut, they were doing business all throughout those different, that whole, further eastern the islands. So even the Philippines was Muslim, those were Muslim islands. The Spanish came in and basically forced the people to change to Catholicism because they had Muslims, which are the majority, then they had all these other, just the old pagan type religions. But the Spanish that came in, they wanted to get rid of all the Muslims. So they forced that religion on them. All right, we're going to read something different tonight. And it's because I was actually looking for something. And you know how it goes in the process of looking for something, and then you see something, you're like, oh, that looks interesting. It's not it's something that's like knowledge that nobody has, but it's just interesting to read. So this is the book. I don't know if people can see see that. I'm trying to get that in the camera. This is called al-kifaya, fi Amr riwayat. So this, can you see it? Good. This is written by Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi. So, and anybody knows about Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi, that, you know, as you see, he died in 462. Was that 463 Hijri? So basically, all of everything that he brings in all of his books is all with the chains and narrations. Even when he brings the hadith, he brings them with the chains and narrations from him going back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you're going to see that a lot with the chains, that they're going to be a lot longer than the chains in like Bukhari and Muslim, because obviously he died like 200 plus years after them, you know. But his books are highly beneficial. So this is one of the earlier books in Mustalah Hadith, which is like putting together the science of Hadith, you know. And that's what he did a lot. When he had like different books about the manners. He had books about memorization and knowledge. What?
I texted him a message like an hour ago. Who was with me in the class, and he just responded right now.
You just responded. He was busy.
No, like right now, like right now he responded.
I'm saying he was busy before.
Oh, he said me, you, Safe, and the Syrian brother. That's what I meant. He responded right now.
He said me, you, and Safe, and the Syrian brother. How long was that?
سيف يصرف الماء
What?
يصرف الماء
Yeah, of course. And then,
يسكبه في الغمام بس.
all right.
There goes the last one. That's it.
Got no water left. All right, so this is a chapter, what I'm going to be reading from. This whole book is beneficial, and if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the opportunity to sit down and go through, just read through this book, you know, we definitely have to take that opportunity, inshallah. So this is a chapter, Bab Wujub al-Bahthi wa Su'ali lil-Kashfi an al-Amuri wal-Ahwal. You and that Coca-Cola. So, like, that was the oil that came yesterday, right? And he was like, give me some of that, man. He was like, man, that stuff smells like Coca-Cola. But he won't leave it alone, right? So I keep messing with him. I'm like, yeah, you and that Coca-Cola, man. You love that Coca-Cola, don't you? I told him they got to change the name of this, man. These people that, you know, that sell oils, they got to fear Allah, man, with these oils. You know the name of this oil? Jannat al-Firdaus. Yeah, akhi, come on, man. Y'all got to fear Allah with that. Ain't no Jannat al-Firdaus. Stop naming these names like that. You name it like what it is. I told them they should call it like what? Like Peach Garden or something like that. You know, Jannat al-Tufaha, or, you know, for apple garden or orchid or something, but don't call it no Jannat al-Firdaus.
Is that really haram to call it?
What type of respect is that for Jannat al-Firdaus? That is, actually, that's a kedab. There's only one Jannat al-Firdaus. That's it. That terminology is not used for anything else. As soon as you say Jannat al-Firdaus, what do you think? The highest part in Jannah. You don't think about some oil that my son says smells like Coca-Cola. And it doesn't smell like Coca-Cola. It's nice, ain't it? Yeah. It's very nice. I don't know where he got the Coca-Cola thing from, though. All right, so this is Bab Wujub al-Bahthi wa Su'ali lil-Kashfi an al-Amuri wal-Ahwali. So this is the chapter on the obligation of researching and asking to uncover affairs and states of people. And this is talking about the obligation, like, for example, somebody comes to you and he starts to teach you the religion. It's talking about the obligation of you researching and finding out who this person is, where did he study, who did he study with, what did he study, and these types of things. To do that research, you don't just, because, well, he looks like a nice guy, he looks like he's trustworthy. No. And the most despicable and treacherous people are the people that come with you in a smile and they have good manners. And, you know, you see, like, that's been the test of our time, right? You know, because you see a lot of these people, like the Ikhwanis, what do they focus on? They focus on manners and the mu'amala. And they don't focus on knowledge and Tawheed and Sunnah and nothing else. They don't care, man. Musbil. But the important thing is, smile at the people. Be nice to the people. And then you might see a Salafi frowning, very rough character, but he's got the correct aqidah. He's got the correct understanding of the deen. He's just a rough person. So who are the people generally going to take the knowledge from? And they're going to take it from Mr. Ikhwani because he comes up in a clean suit. This guy looks like he's a Bedouin, got his imama tilted to the side. What's up? Page, you don't have this book. You got to get the book first. We're just reading outside of something else. So we do this from time to time on Fridays. All right. Does anybody have this book? Striving Slave said, if you could only teach one book for the rest of your life, Ustaz, which would it be? Sahih al-Bukhari. Sahih al-Bukhari, I can sit there and just start it, finish it, start it again, finish it, start it again, finish it, start it again, finish it until you die. And that's what the Sheikh did. Sheikh Mubil did that. Allah yarham. Started teaching Bukhari in Yemen and he taught it over. I think he only finished it once though. He started it again, and we finished it when I was there. So we finished it the second time that Sheikh Mubil, so he went over it. That's what he did throughout his life. Well, you got the munchies or something?
No, I'm the one that splits the ghanima.
No, I'm really hungry.
He's got to do the,
No, because I know who ordered what and who ordered what.
Oh yeah, you gotta go hide those surf and turf fries. Go get them. Go hide them. Go hide them, man. Go hide them from him and the kids, man. He said, I got the PDF, but man, it's old Arabic. So this is because the problem is there's no chapter numbers on this. So, but it's bab wujub al-bahthi wa su'ali lil-kashfi. So here, and let's begin. So he said, أجمع أهل العلم على أنه لا يقبل إلا خبر العدد. إلا خبر العدد. So he said that the ulama have a consensus that that there's no information is accepted except that it comes from a person of adala, a trustworthy, upright person. كما أنه, and of course anybody that's from Ahl al-Bid'ah is what?
Wait, hold on.
Let me see.
What is he? You forgot something, didn't you?
No, they didn't split it right. And I explicitly told them, do it like this, and then they didn't do it.
No, but you gotta learn Spanish, Akhi.
No, I told the brother Ibrahim. He was the one who did it in Spanish. So do it like this, like this, like this.
Maybe he didn't translate it right.
That's on him, man. But they got the fries. And
All right. كما أنه لا تقبل إلا شهادة العدل. Just like we don't accept the witness except for a person of what? Who's upright, honest. So I mean, it's not just he's got to be upright in his deen. He's got to be honest in his speech, and and he's got to and he's known amongst the people as being a person of being upright and honest. That's who we take the witness from, the testimony from. That's who we take the knowledge from. If he's a person of knowledge. ولما ثبت ذلك وجب متى ولما ثبت ذلك وجب متى لم تعرف عدالة المخبر وشاهد أن يسأل عنهما. So he said, ولما ثبت ذلك, he said, and once that became confirmed, like it's affirmed, وجب, and it became an obligation upon the people whenever they don't know the person. Like if a person comes to you and he gives you information, because you got to understand, anybody that comes to you and says, the Prophet ﷺ said this, the Prophet ﷺ did this, and the Sahaba said this, the Sahaba did this. Now he's bearing witness that this is a fact, right? So this is his like a testimony, right? He's saying this, so this is a strong statement. And you don't know who this guy is. You look at him now. You look at him like, okay, dude looks like a used car salesman. He's got pants and the shirt on. His pants are below his ankles. Shaved his beard. You already look at him right now and you're already seeing the signs of what?
You said above his ankles?
Below his ankles. You're already seeing the signs of what?
Sin.
Yeah, you're seeing the signs of sin, which goes against adab. He's sinning openly. He's not just, because there's a difference between a person who sins in the privacy of his own home, and a person who what? Openly shaves his beard, openly drags his pants on the ground, openly dressed like the kuffar, openly, you know, so you see all of these open sins, right? So we take knowledge from a person like that. Well, it doesn't matter if he's the most knowledgeable person in that city. It's not, because he's doing these sins openly. And if he's calling to the sunnah, which makes it even worse, because what? If he's trying to say that this, he's trying to say, oh, I'm trying to teach the people the sunnah, then what is, the people, they look at him and they think that what?
Associate what he does with those.
Exactly. Shaving the beard is okay. Dragging your pants on the ground is okay. Dressing like the kuffar is okay. Add to the fact that he might be smoking when he leaves the masjid, Allahu musta'an. He might be one of those Azhari sheikhs, that smokes in their free time. Huh?
تخلع شميسك وتدخل خذها زي علامة.
What's that?
تخلع شميسك تدخل خذها زي علامة.
أخلع الشميسي.
تعرفون؟
Huh?
تعرف من؟ هارون دانيال.
No, you're talking about Muhammad Hijab. He's on.
Oh.
When he ripped the shirt off.
So
At
good. Some guy.
His Hulk Hogan impersonation in the Chinese embassy. Allah understand. And these pythons are going to walk all over you, man, China.
Some guy put his face in his chest. I was like, oh, that's
wow.
Doesn't even.
But anyways, we don't want to waste our time with. We're not talking about people that wouldn't have their khabar accepted. All right, so with shahid. So he said, وَلَمَا ثَبَتَ ذَلك وَجِبَ مَتَى لَمْ تُعْرَفْ عَدَالَةُ الْمُخْبِرِ وَشَاهِدْ أَنْ يُسَلْ عَنْهُمَا. So whenever you don't know whether or not the person is upright, because maybe he's wearing a thobe, maybe he has a beard, maybe the thobe is up above his ankles, maybe he's got his little miswak here, maybe he's carrying Sahih Bukhari, but you don't know who he is, right? So you have to find out, like, okay, akhi, where did you study? Who did you study with? And the person should not feel, like, how can I say this? He shouldn't feel, he shouldn't get defensive when he's asked these questions. These are just common questions. If you come up and ask me where I studied and who I studied with, I don't have no problem telling you that. It's no issue. So I mean, there shouldn't be something that the person should become defensive about. Because if you're the type of person that you also do that, I'm not just going to go around taking knowledge from anybody. If I know somebody's here and he's teaching something, and maybe it's something that I even want to sit down and maybe learn from the person. All right, I'm going to go and ask about him. I'm going to go search him out, find out, search for him on, find out who his sheikhs are. If I don't know who his sheikhs are, I'm going to go get on Google, start searching for him, trying to find out who these people are. Like we had this one guy in Jacksonville, same thing. He's teaching the Quran, he's doing tafsir, and then, all it takes is a little bit of research, find out who his sheikh is, find out if the sheikh is in Iraq, shaving beard, no signs of the sunnah on his sheikh, and then find out that he studied French. He didn't study, it wasn't, from the ulama. He studied the Quran. He got very, very strong in the Quran, but then he started leading the people astray with other of his shubahat, because he's from the Khawarij.
كنا ندرس معاه.
Yeah.
Was he the one that would always talk about Saudi in every chance?
Every dars. The brother told me, he said every single lesson he would start talking about the tafsir of the Quran, and the next thing you know, they're talking about the government of Saudi Arabia. Every class. SubhanAllah. That's their aqidah, akhi. That's their aqidah, so Allah Muslim. So he said, أو يستخبر عن أحوالهما. So, or he seeks out information. Yastakhbir means what? I mean, in these days, if we're doing istikhbar, we're going to go to Google. Google, what do you know about Sheikh Fulan? And then see what information pops up. But in the old days, like if like the person studied in Iraq, and he has some sheikh, some Iraqi sheikh, and people from Ahl Sunnah, they're from Iraq. So you go to them and say, Ya ikhwa, do you know this sheikh? Have you heard of this guy? Because we have this guy, he's a da'i, and he's teaching the people tafsir, and he studied with the sheikh in Iraq. Do you know about him? And then if they say we don't know about him, but at the very least, what can they do? Yeah, they can call other brothers that they know in Iraq to find out about the person. And if you know the exact village or the exact city that he teaches in, then you can, find somebody there from Ahl Sunnah that knows who this person is. So this is a part of the deen. The same thing like we wouldn't accept a witness. Just imagine if somebody committed a crime and this person, again, shaved beard, hands dragging on the ground, probably smokes in his free time, like that's how they shave, like I said. And he says, I saw him steal. Would we accept that? No. Absolutely not. Be like, dude, go home. You didn't see nothing, go home. Because he doesn't have the adab, because he's sinning openly. If he's known as being a person who never prays in the masjid.
Real estate.
Huh?
Real estate.
Or he works in he works with riba. Or any of these types of things. He could be an honest person. We're not saying that he's a liar. He could be the most honest person that, on the face of this earth today. Maybe, well, he's obviously not honest because, if he says he's a Muslim but he's dressing like the kuffar, there's some dishonesty there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying like honest and like he won't lie about what he saw. You understand? Honest in that manner. Not honest with his actions, but honest in his speech. He might be very honest, but that doesn't mean we don't accept the information from him because he's sinning openly. So if he's known as a person that doesn't pray in the masjid, we don't accept it from him. If he's known for being like, dealing with riba, he works in a bank, he sells he works on a car lot, he owns a car lot, but he sells but he signs the contracts and makes up the contracts with riba, with interest, or, what else? Or he owns a smoke shop, and then, imagine the owner of the smoke shop says, I saw him steal from me. The owner of the smoke shop. I saw him steal from you. You're like, yeah, he shut up. You know what I'm saying? No, it's like that's not going to be accepted. So now imagine if that same person now came in the masjid and started talking about the deen. Now imagine, we're talking about like some petty crime. Let's just say he stole a Snickers bar or something. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to accept his shahada with something so petty as that. We won't accept it. So why would we accept him to come up in the masjid and start speaking about this deen? So I mean, the whole issue about going back and finding out who the people are, asking about them, knowing their background, this is very, very, very important. Very important. And that's why you see that the Prophet, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he sent the messengers, who did he send them to? To the people. Because they know him. They know him. They knew Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before. They knew him. They used to call him Al-Amin. I mean, come on. They knew him for his truthfulness, for his honesty, for if they ever had any issue, he's the man to go to. They know that he's going to tell the truth. So this is why now when he comes out with the Risala, you don't have any excuse. You have no excuse. So all the messengers were sent amongst their people. Now, obviously with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was sent to all mankind, but the mabda, the beginning of the Risala, was amongst his people. You understand? And then it spread what? To the whole world. Alright. So he said, وَيُسَلْ عَنْهُمَا أَوْ يُسْتَخْبَرْ عَنْ أَحْوَالِهِمَا أَهْلَ الْمَعْرِفَةِ بِهِمَا. So then you go to the people that know. So if there's a person that's teaching and he's from Iraq, and you go to the people who are known students or known people of knowledge in Iraq, and you ask them, who is this guy? Now imagine that you got all these people that are people of knowledge, and you ask them, and he's from there, these are his people, and they say what? We don't know him. And this is a lot of the cases you get, like where you get these guys that come from like Egypt and places like this, and then they come here. They're not from people of knowledge in their countries. And in fact, if they went to their countries, they would never give the khutbah, nor would they leave the salah. But then they come here and they say, oh yeah, they start with these fake credentials, like I studied here and I studied here. Like we had this one guy. He wasn't Egyptian. He was he's Pakistani in Jacksonville, the Imam of the masjid there. He used to say, I studied in Medina. Wallah, he said this, right? I studied in Medina. So me and Sajid, we're going to go and research this guy. Let's find out. And he said, my father and my brother, they used to teach in Medina. So, okay. All right, tell you, we love a little bit of research. We like a little bit of challenge. Guess what we found out about the person? Huh?
No, that's it.
What did we find out about him?
He's a liar.
Oh, but let's look at his lies. Did he? No, he's not a liar. Did he study in Medina? Yes, he did. His father was teaching in one of those community colleges there, maybe translation or something stupid like this. And he studied middle school in Medina. So he did study in Medina. But what is he trying to make the people think?
He studied Islam.
Yeah, this is called, but he's trying to make the people think that he studied in the University of Medina. You know, because obviously anybody from amongst us says, he studied in Medina. What do we understand? That he studied in the Islamic University of Medina. That's what we know. That's what we understand. We don't think, he studied middle school, in Medina. And, so again, this is what you call in the Arabic language Tawriya. It comes from the word yuwarri tawriyatan. It means that you're telling a piece of the truth to make the people think the opposite of the truth, but you're not directly lying. Like, you're not saying, I studied in Medina University, but you're saying, I studied in Medina. And you're making the people think that what? That you studied in the University of Medina, and you know that that's not true, but even though you know that that's what they think, you don't correct it. You don't say, oh, no, I don't mean the university, I mean I studied middle school. What's your question?
بلد الأرض كله.
Huh?
بلد الأرض كله.
What?
بلد الأرض كله.
خارج.
الناس يقولوا ما فعل بس هم يقولوا إنه فعل.
سنتصرف في هذا بعدين. They poured water all over the ground. The whole ground over there is wet, he says. The kids. They took all that water and just I guess. يا أسد أنت مسؤول.
بس أشوف الكاميرا عن الفعل ده.
أنا الماء خارج. نحن بنشوف الكاميرات ونشوف من فعل إيش. والذي فعل ما بيجي هنا ما بيشرب ماء هنا ولا يأكل ولا يجي. Send a message to your brother to check.
So, okay.
Oh, you can't right now. Oh, actually, that is there. Yeah, so he can't look at the camera right now anyway. Because that's the one with the access to all the cameras on it. All right. So what was I saying?
When you say something to make people think something.
Yeah, the Torah, right? So, okay, that was one thing, right? The other thing was that his brother taught in Medina. His brother taught translation at a community college in Medina. He did not teach in the Jamiat al-Islam. We found that out. Then we found out about his Sufi Sheikh and, found out about his Sufi Sheikh and his super Sufi Sheikh, who believes that Allah is in everything and everywhere and is a part of everything.
Masood, what is his name? That big, very famous Pakistani Sufi Sheikh.
No.
His name is like Tariq, he's quote unquote Mufti. Tariq Masood, something like that. I think it was full of kufri bid'ah, full of kufri bid'ah. Just research it. You're gonna see what
I don't want to know, but unless I have to research it, I'm not gonna just. I don't like really enjoy reading about fools. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot better things that we can spend our time with, but if I have to do it, I do it. Because that guy was teaching in Jacksonville, so I'm gonna do it. And he was telling me this stuff like, I did this and I did this. Okay, I tell you. And I take all that information. I'll be sitting there like, all right. Smiling, but in reality, I'm sitting there memorizing everything so I can go back home and check everything that he said. So, that's just the way we do it, because you don't know who this guy is. He said he studied in Medina. Huh? Oh, yeah, son, go, you go call.
هو شخص قال طارق جمال.
Huh?
شخص قال طارق جمال.
طارق جمال. Jamil. Is that what you're talking about? Tariq Jamil. He's talking to you.
Oh. Who cares?
No, he's saying, is that the correct person?
No, it's Tariq.
You got, we're going to get you
I need sleep. I've been awake since 4. But even before the khutbah almost, when I lean, I just lean my back for 10 minutes while I almost fell asleep.
Yeah, so the word Hamid Jamal, warra. Because warra, it means it has the meaning of cover, like to cover something up. So Tawriya is when you in the Arabic, the English word for it is prevaricate, but nobody uses this word anymore.
No, not him. Someone else.
And the type of Tawriya that would be I'm trying, because it's permissible and it's impermissible, right? It's permissible if it's for something that's like sulh, something beneficial. For example, let's say that the police are looking for your friend. Your friend's Muslim, it's your brother. And the police are accusing him of doing something that he didn't do. You understand? He didn't do it, and you know he didn't do it. All right. So you don't want them to arrest him. He's your brother, right? So you know he's trying to get a lawyer and try to fix the situation so he can prove that he didn't do it. So you don't want the police to get him, but he's hiding in your bathroom, right? The police are knocking on your door looking for him. So the police come in and say they knock on the door and they say, is Ahmed here?
Not all right. Is Ahmed here?
Oh, no.
Is
Whatever, man. Is Ahmed here? And you say, what, here? No, Ahmed's not here. Now, did you lie?
No.
How did I not lie?
He's not like here right between.
Yeah, I said he's not here. That's what I mean, but that's not what they understand. They mean what? They understand that he's not in my house. What I mean, what, he's not right here in front of me. Of course he's not here. You understand? But you say it in a way where they think the opposite. Now this, you're protecting him. And this is not, this is not lying because you didn't lie. He said, no, he's not here. You understand? So in this case, no. I mean, this is permissible. But to lie about your credentials, to make up things, nah. Like for example, somebody goes to like a muhadara, or they go to the muhadarat of Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, right? Rahimahullah. Hafidullah. Well, rahimahullah, because Allah yahmullah, Allah
You
yahfadullah.
didn't encourage me. I did that one time in Ramadan.
No, I mean, what we all want rahmah while we're alive and when we die,
No, in Ramadan I said about Al-Usaymi, I said, Rahimahullah, he said, is he dead? He said, holy shit, that someone was dead.
But like say that you go to the the muhadarat, just to talk to Sheikh Saleh Fawzan. Then you come back to America and say what? I studied. I'm a student of Sheikh Saleh Fawzan. Nah, come on, man. This is again, no, you're not. This is a form of Tawriyah that is not permissible. Because again, he's telling a piece of the truth. Yeah, he sat with him. But to sit there and just because you went to some muhadarat, you went and asked him some questions, that does not make you a student of somebody. All right. So you have to go back and you have to check and ask about these things. Because people do some sick stuff, akhi. Well, some sick stuff. And the majority of the people that you see, go. Like all of these people, akhi, I go online and I search for their biographies, right? Omar Suleiman. Anybody that has an effect on Dawah in America, when I came back to America and I said, who are these people? And I want to find out who they are. I start researching them. See how long, what did he study? Like a year or two in Jordan or what? Yeah, like he went to Jordan or something for so he has that type, that's his background. And I think, what's the same thing with like Uthman ibn Farouk? I think he went to Jordan for a year or two or something like that. You go back and you check. And it's not like being disrespectful to the person, but it's like knowing who you're taking, because it's like knowing the level that the person is possible, where his boundaries are. Like for example, if I know a person studied in Jordan for a year, right? And he's not Arab, which means what is he going to be spending the first year doing? He's just going to be learning the Arabic language, and he's not even going to get proficient in that, not in a year. It takes 3 to 4 years to really get rolling in the Arabic language. Now, I'm not saying that you become functional. You can become functional within a year, where you can, have basic conversation. Within a year, we were sitting in the classes in Bukhari and Muslim, but we're talking about where you can sit back and just take a book and just read it comfortably, without having to jump up every 30 seconds to go grab a dictionary, and also have that comfort. Like I can just sit back and I can grab this book and read it outside where there's no dictionary available and feel comfortable reading it. That takes years. It takes years of, learning, because the Arabic language is not an easy language to learn. It's the most difficult language on the face of the earth because of the vastness of the Arabic language. Now, there are some aspects of something like maybe Chinese, some aspects of Chinese that might be more difficult than Arabic, but Arabic in totality is more difficult than any language on the face of this earth, to really get deep into the Arabic language. Anybody can sit there for a year and just become go buy from a store, get a taxi, or go, maybe talk to a doctor and talk about an ailment that he has in his stomach or something like that. Anybody can do that within a year. But now when we're talking about reading through the books of the ulama from before and really understanding, going through the books of tafsir, reading like, in the other books of lugha, like al-Kamil, then Mubarrad, and other books like this, also the book of al-Amali, al-Qali, and books like that, and the books of al-Jahab, that takes a high level of Arabic language, man. That's not a joke, That's not a joke, and that's not going to be attained in a year, 2 years, 3 years. That takes a long time. And that's if the person is even studying that type of stuff. Now imagine that he's just going and he's studying like Medina Book 1, Medina Book 2, Medina Book 3. Now I'm going to go back to America and become a mufti. No, you need to check. You need to go back and find it, because we've got so many muftis. We got Book 3 muftis, mashallah. We have a lot of Book 3 muftis that study Book 3 of Medina, Rasul al-Thalatha, and maybe the first 2 chapters of Kitab al-Tawheed, mashallah, mufti. He's a mufti now. Well, what are you pointing at?
Someone said, he said Uthman bin Farouk actually studied properly.
Where?
They said, and then someone said he studied hadith in Pakistan.
With the Deobandis?
Feel he's sincere in seeking the truth. No. And then someone said, I feel he's sincere in seeking the truth of Islam.
No, look, man, we're not talking about the sincerity. That's between him and Allah. We're talking about where a person studied and what he studied. That's it. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about the sincerity, and we're not bashing nobody. We're just telling this is it. That's so this is not to talk about him to bash him, but this is just to tell the truth. Where did he study? Does anybody know where he studied it? You're taking knowledge from the people, but who did he study? Who was this sheikh in Pakistan? Who? I know from his own mouth that he studied in Jordan. Now tell me something different. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he went to Pakistan and studied in Pakistan, but what did he study and who did he study with? Was he studying with Ahl Sunnah in Pakistan, or was he studying with the Deobandis? Because we know, as we've seen it online where he's praised the ulama of the Deobandis, even though he speaks about them. But then he'll get around the Deobandis and praise them.
He praised that Tariq Mas'ud guy.
I don't
He
know.
was very filthy in his bid'ah. What's his name? The sheikh of the Yemeni brother who came. What's his name? Abdurrahman al-Umaysan? I don't know. Umaysan. He exposed the video. Wallah, it's a very nice long video. He's just really in depth. After I watched it, I was like, wow. I did so much I didn't know.
Yeah, because most of the people, they just like, what? If you're a good talker and you have a good personality, yallah, throw him up on the minbar. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what his credentials are in Islam. And this is what has destroyed the communities. Actually, this is what destroyed. And then the people that come along, like you have like somebody like Abdul Hakim, Abu Rayhana. This is a very, very knowledgeable brother. Why isn't he getting the attention that these other celebrities are getting? Why doesn't he get the attention that he deserves? That brother deserves the attention. You're talking about one of the strongest Arabic teachers in all of America. That brother. And you're talking about a brother that sat in Damaj for over 15 years in Damaj and did not leave, did not take a vacation. He stayed there through all the wars. He stayed there all the way up until everybody had to leave Damaj. You're talking about a brother who's been tested. And alhamdulillah, and by the permission of Allah, has gone through those tests and continued on. He's tried and tested. Somebody that, and that's why when we look at these brothers from Damaj, and we know what everybody went through in Yemen, that's why we trust our brothers there more, because we know what everybody went through. And we know the patience that the people have. These other people, we don't know what they've been through. They haven't been tested like that from what we know. We don't know. But we've seen what's going on in Yemen, and we've seen how the people got tested, and we've seen who stood up and stayed on the sunnah, and who are the people that just went off to the left and went off to the right and went off all over the place instead of staying on the sirat al-mustaqim. But Allah musta'an. I mean, why don't the people promote him then? If they're looking for knowledge, then they go to the people that have that knowledge. The brother Mundir in Oakland. Nobody even knows who he is. Except for a small group of Salafis know who the brother is. Same thing. The brother was in Damaj for more than a decade.
He went back to him.
Huh?
He went back to him.
When did he go back?
I don't know, but I was told recently he left.
To go back forever?
I don't know بعد هذا.
Alright, so I guess Mundir is not here anymore. So Abdul Hakim is still here. And the other brothers are still here. So, I mean, but these are not the brothers that get the attention.
Hassan Somali. Someone said Ustad Hassan Somali.
So, like, going back to the book, inshallah. إذ لا سبيل إلى العلم بما alright, wait, where did I stop? يستخبر عن أحوالهما أهل المعرفة بهما إذ لا سبيل إلى العلم بما هما عليه إلا بالرجوع إلى قول من كان بهما عارفا في تزكيتهما فدل على أنه لا بد منه. So there's no path to the knowledge, to that knowledge of who they are, except what? We're not going to know who these people are, except for asking what? Asking the people who know, the people that are trustworthy and trusted. Like, who are these people? You know, because you also have to know who you're asking. Because some people, they might have like hasad in their chest, and they might answer because of what? Oh, those brothers. Oh, I don't know, man. He's unclear. Like, they take this Mu'tazili approach. Well, I'm not saying he's Salafi, and I'm not saying he's not Salafi. He's like, minzila baina minzilatayn. They won't tell you that you're a Mubtadi' or a Hizbi, but they won't say that you're Salafi. So they put you in this minzila baina minzilatayn. What is this Mu'tazila? So either one, he's Khariji, which he takes people out of the Sunnah because of what? Because he commits a sin that he didn't like, or he becomes Mu'tazili because the person has knowledge and he can come back and respond to them, and they're scared of that. So then they say, oh, well, his issue is unclear. So is he Salafi? Well, I won't say he's Salafi. So is he a Hizbi? Well, I'm not going to say he's a Hizbi. Yeah, come on, man. Batal hada the shit. If you know. If you don't know, what? You keep your mouth shut. You shut up, because that means that you're not from the people who are qualified to be talking about these things. If you can't sit there and tell me with a straight answer whether or not this person's Salafi or not, then khalas, that's dalil that you should keep your mouth shut. That these are not affairs that you should be involved in. These are affairs for the ulama. These are affairs for the people. These affairs are not. Where do we learn this knowledge from? Think about it. Where am I reading this at? Am I reading this in some book that was written by, one of these like doctors in the Jamia, about, Jarh wa Ta'dil and all this in the modern age or something like that? No, I'm reading this from the books of what? He's bringing narrations from the Salaf, but this is from Ilm al-Hadith. This is where you find that at. So you find this knowledge amongst people who what? Who sat with the ulama of hadith. You don't find this type of knowledge amongst people who sat with the ulama, that focus on teaching madhahib, or the people that, the ulama of lugha, that taught lugha. No, you find this amongst the people who sat down with the ulama of hadith. That's where this knowledge is at. So if you were sitting there trying to say that you're qualified to do this, then what are your qualifications for that? Have you even read these books? Have you understood these? Have you sat down and gone through these types of books with the ulama? Do you know? So Allah musta'an. So, and this is just one book. You got Fath al-Maghith, which is the Sharh of Al-Fiyat al-Iraqi, the Sakhawi. You got so many books where this knowledge is present. Then you got the bigger books. All of this is detailed in my Seeking Knowledge book, in the back when I talked about like the knowledge of hadith. So, this is where this is found. So this is found with this type of knowledge is found with very specific, type of student, not with just everybody. But they have to have that background of, knowledge of hadith. So you go and you sit with a sheikh who teaches the hadith without even reading the chain of narration, you're not going to get this type of knowledge. Because he's not going over the rijal, he's not going to go over their ahwal, he's not going to be discussing what the ulama said about them. So where are you going to get this knowledge from if you're not getting it like that? Are there any questions?
Oh, but someone said that the guy I mentioned, he studied in the Maj.
Who's that?
Hassan Somali.
Now, if I skip over something for a reason, I skipped over for a reason, right?
Oh, because you said which one, that's why.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, Jarh Ta'dil exists. Unqualified people.
Hamid Jamal says Abu Rayhana has books in the Arabic language and he teaches them. He teaches them online, on Telegram, and he's got a YouTube channel. So the people should benefit because these are the real people that actually study. Abu Rayhana, Abdul Hakim, like I said, he was in Yemen for over 20 years, I think. He was in Damascus for about 18 years, I would say.
of the Madras and the match rating.
Huh?
I was about to say the Madras and the match rating.
What are you talking about? It wasn't the match.
I mean, Abu Rayhana.
It was about 17. Look, they left out in 2014. When I got to Damaj in 2000, Abdul Hakim had already been in Damaj for about 2 to 3 years. So that's at least 17 years right there. And he never, like, he left out maybe once or twice for like medical treatment or something like that. He'd come down to Sana'a, and then he'd go right back. But he did not stay out of Damaj. I mean, even when he came down to Sana'a, it was like just maybe a weekend or a week, and he's back in Damaj. So I mean, all of those years, that's what he was doing in Damaj. What they're asking me about in the chat are people that studied for like a year, 2 years, 3 years. Nah, you go back and you study with the people that, like, you know, that's the best. And nobody's. And then this other guy that he's asking about is like the dude was an English teacher in Saudi Arabia who sat with Sheikh Saleh Fawzan in his free time. Now I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That's good. You know what I'm saying? That's good. You're trying to benefit from the ulama, but don't come back to the West talking about he's a sheikh, he's a sheikh, he's a sheikh. All of us are just trying to learn our religion. You know, but you know that the thing is that the people, they raise the people far, far, far over, you know, what they are. And I'm telling you, if the people start doing that with me, akhi, you're gonna see I'm gonna disappear faster than you can blink your eyes. You know, I'll disappear, akhi, because I don't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, what did I tell Abdul Hakim, not Abdul Hakim, sorry, Abdul Malik, when I first got here? Because the first time that I went to go speak at a different masjid when I was here was in Badr. Because, you know, they set it up for me to go and talk at Badr. And who was at Badr that night?
I don't even want to mention.
So I told Abdul Malik, I said, man, if anybody comes up to me and starts saying, oh my God, I watch your videos on YouTube, I said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I don't do all that celebrity garbage. If a person wants to come and learn knowledge, we learn knowledge. So as soon as we're in Badr, one of the young brothers, he jumped up and he got up in front of me. And Abdul Malik is sitting right there, right? And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. I looked at Abdul Malik and I said, I'm leaving. Abdul Malik, it's like, you know.
He doesn't even come to work. He came for like a month and then, not even a month, and then he ended up leaving.
So what I'm saying is like keep the people what they're like, look at their background and look at what they did. You know, and people did whatever khayr they did khayr, but stay in that lane of where you're at.
Is Abu Rayhana, all those years, would he be considered an alim? Like, is it safe to say that?
That's for the ulama to say that. That's not for me to say that. I'm just a small student of knowledge, man. And, you know, his sheikh is Sheikh Yahya, and Sheikh Mukul. He studied with them both. That's a statement that the sheikh should make about him, not me. You know, the sheikh says that he's a sheikh or he's an alim. He's the one that gives that tazkiyah, not somebody like me. That's not our job. Our job is just to come here, teach the people the Quran and the Sunnah, let the people know this is what it's about. These are the ulama of the Sunnah, and, you know, connect the people to that, and then, you know, get the people motivated to go out and seek knowledge. That's the part that we can do. You know, our part is not here trying to, like, you know, set up shop like we're like the ulama of America and all this type of stuff. No, come here and just teach the people. You know, but at the same time, you got to also warn the people and keep the people and protect the people. That's a duty. So, Allah Musta'an. Any questions? Because I don't think there's no way we're going to finish this today.
No, sir. We make a video telling us channels we can take from. Would be very beneficial that.
I don't know channels that you can take from because I don't listen to these. You know, on Telegram, and I've already posted all the different links to the students that were in the match. That's the main thing that I listen to. All right, because look, I was in Yemen for 15 years, and I was in Saudi for 6 years. Now, obviously, the time that I was in Saudi was mostly trying to feed my family and work, so it wasn't like, I'm not going to sit here and try to make it like, oh, I was in Saudi for 6 years, sitting with the ulama, and I'd be lying. I'd be doing like these guys. But yeah, did we sit with the ulama? Yes. We sat with Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, yes. But would I consider myself a student of Sheikh Saleh Fawzan? Absolutely not. Sat with him, and some durus and muntaqas, you know, just a little here and a little there, you know, whatever we could do, just when we have free time. Sheikh Abdul Salam Shawayr, we studied like the Arba'in and Mundariya, the entire book with him. You know, but it's small things over those 6 years. Because most of the times I was dealing with sickness of my family. We're dealing with the fact that we're not legal in the country. So I had to keep working. I had to work 14 hours a day just to make the money that normal people make it 6 hours a day. You know, I was getting paid like an immigrant. Like, you know, well, we're all immigrants, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't getting like the American salary in Saudi Arabia, let's just say that, you know, and we were dealing with a lot of issues. So, but the time that I did sit amongst the ulama in Saudi, in fact, the last sheikh that we sat with, me and brother Abdul Rahim from New Jersey, Allah yubarak fi. Right when the COVID thing kind of like, it didn't, the lockdowns didn't stop, but they kind of let certain ulama teach in the masjid. So alhamdulillah, the brother, he set it up to where like the last thing that we went and did was we sat with Sheikh Abdullah Hussein. You know, and that's just the most beautiful thing because he just died recently, Allah yarhamu. So that was like the last sheikh that I sat with before we left. Would I consider myself a student of him? No. Well, we sat in the dora that he was doing, and then I went to Jubail, and then we ended up leaving. Maybe, and Jubail has nothing, like nothing going on. No teaching, no durus, no nothing. Like Jubail is just like,
Shia.
well, the eastern province is mostly Shia, undercover Shia, but there's not much going on as far as durus and so we're just basically sitting at home just reading books all the time. But the point is like the lessons and the difference between studying in Saudi and studying in Yemen is just like, you know, the sun and the moon, you know, the night and the day. It's completely different. So the only people that I listen to are the people that study, you know, like the old school students from Damaj. You know, the brothers that go way back to the time of Sheikh Mughal. I follow their Telegram channels and take their lessons and listen to them. So all this other stuff on YouTube, I have no. The English-speaking people, I don't listen to them. The only English-speaking person that I will listen to, that I'll actually take his khutbah and listen to it, is Fareed. Allah yarhamah. He's the only person. I have like a little MP3 player, and I probably have like 60, maybe 60 khutbahs from Fareed on that MP3 player. That's all I listen to in English. Other than that, it's all Arabic. So I don't know any of these people here. You know, like, you know, somebody else is gonna, like somebody like, you know, the brother Hamid or somebody would have to post something like that. Yeah, Abu Abdullah Na'im, I mean, we were together in Damaj too. So the earliest brothers that were in Damaj amongst the Americans, you had the brother Abu Zainab from North Carolina. He was one of the original. I want to say he was the first American, but he was like the first American that went to Damaj and stayed for like years. And then you had other brothers that came and left. Abdul Hakim came after Abu Zainab, maybe like a year after him, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, you had another brother, Hakim from Detroit, another very good brother. He studied in Damaj from he got there maybe like, he was there 9 months before I got there. And then he stayed all the way up until 2014. You know, so and then I don't know where he's at now. The last time I remember, he was in Kuwait. You know, so he went to Hadramaut when the brothers went to Hadramaut, then he went to Kuwait to work to get some money for his family. So those were like the earlier brothers, right? And then and I came after Hakim. So, but no, you got Abdullah McPhee. Abdullah McPhee was also there before Hakim. So I mean, there was only like a handful of like Americans, and there's another brother, but I can't remember his name. Some brothers from New Jersey, but I can't remember their names though. Because they just like, you know, they dispersed after the sheikh died. And khalas, and you know, they called us Bahanasi and Mansiya, man. Like they just became like gone and forgotten. So they're not, I don't even think they're a part of the dawah, you know, so a long time. But anyways, I don't know, what was I talking about? I didn't sleep, I don't even, well, I'm asking you, man. Any brothers you met in Yemen from Bangladesh? I mean, I met Bangladeshis in Yemen, but I don't know from like Ahl Sunnah. I'm pretty sure, but I mean, I just maybe just didn't know that they were from Bangladesh. Because obviously when you go to Yemen, everybody's going to be wearing a thobe. So you're not going to know, unless you really, really talk to them. So, I mean, there were like a few brothers from Britain, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know of any brother from Bangladesh that was American. And the only other thing, we had one brother, Nawaz, from Sri Lanka. And so Nawaz was one of those brothers who was really, really mustafid, really studious. And I think he went back to Sri Lanka, but he was in Canada. He's originally from Sri Lanka, but he lived in Canada. So he spoke English, he spoke English like properly. He went, I think he went back to Sri Lanka to give dawah. And I'm pretty sure that they were causing them a lot of problems there. A lot of problems. Because, those countries over there is like real hardcore Sufis or Khawarij. But when you come with the Sunnah, well, they're going to put it on you. They're going to try to do anything to keep you, just keep you quiet. So, Bangladesh, I don't know. Hamid Jamal says, Ustad, do you know about Sheikh Abdul Rauf Shakir from New York? I've heard the name, but I don't know. Musa Millington, he came to Damascus, but I wasn't Sana'a at the time. I wasn't in Damascus when he was there. Abu Maryam, Abu Atiyah. These are all the brothers because you gotta keep in mind, I was in Damascus like with the old school brothers. I was there in 2000, but I stayed in Yemen until 2015. But I wasn't in Damascus that whole time, so a lot of those brothers that came while I was in Sana'a. I wasn't in Damascus at that time. Said, is it okay if I post some of the dua to the students of knowledge in English or upon the way of the Salaf? Yeah, I mean, if you're sure that that's what they're upon, inshallah. All right. All right, so I guess we're not going to finish this, are we? We need to go before you fall asleep because you got to drive all the way back to the nice area of Fresno.
Yeah. For Starbucks and Dutch Bros and cookie crumbles.
Yeah. We don't have all that, do we? Is there? I don't even know.
I mean, there is a Starbucks and Dutch Bros. There's actually a Dutch Bros right near here. That's 24 hours.
I mean, it's here because we're close to downtown.
No, it's like 24 hours though. It's the only one in Fresno.
Dutch Bros?
24. Yeah, that Dutch Bros.
Where?
It's right next to Fresno City College. It's like literally right across the street. It's like.
What? Oh, no,
It's
hold
like-
on a second because they're still typing. Yeah, he said you can sleep in the masjid. Yeah. Sleep in the masjid.
I didn't even know he was in the.
Huh?
I didn't even know he was even there.
Oh, he's always there. He told me. Abdul Malik told me, so y'all know. He said, I'm always lurking. I'm always there. I'm not saying something, but I'm there. So, yeah.
Yeah, there he says.
What did he say?
He said Blackstone and McKinley.
See, that's what he's going to do. He's going to give you the exact location. What is that on Blackstone and McKinley?
I think that's the
Dutch Bros is open 24 hours.
24 hours.
What is this?
It's like a
It's a coffee shop.
rip-off version of Starbucks.
Sometimes it actually tastes
I ain't
better
going
than
to Starbucks no more. If you come to Fresno,
Oh, I think
you go to Al Alchemist coffee shop.
by Hamza.
That's a brother from Ahl Sunnah that owns that coffee shop that we did not know about from before. So if you come here, it's a brother named Hamza that runs it. He's Hamza number 4. All right. Hamza number 4, but we don't have chicken fingers in here to start the Hamza wars anymore.
Oh.
So
Do a poll.
you go to Alchemist Coffee, and this brother he goes and he gets the coffee from all over. Like as he told me, as he explained to me, once we found out that he owned a coffee shop after Fajr one morning, we had to it took us 30 minutes to get to the class in Bukhari because we were talking to him about the coffee shop. So he takes the coffee. From he buys it directly from the people with no middleman, right? So he'll like Costa Rica and all these places, Kenya, or wherever, right? all the best coffee producers in the world. And he takes them and he roasts the coffee himself. He goes to the roaster. So not only does he sell the coffee in the shop, but he also provides it for different coffee shops because he knows how to roast it. He said like the biggest problem with the coffee is that the people destroy it in the roasting process because they're too much, they just want to produce it too fast. And this coffee is good, man. You had it. And he brought me that Costa Rican coffee, man. It tasted like drinking a tangerine, man. The coffee was, you could taste the fruit, like it was like a fruit taste in it. And he told me, he said, no, there's no added flavors. He said, that's the taste of the actual, that's how it tastes. So, yeah, if you support Muslim businesses, and that's the one thing I'm going to end this thing off with. If you know that the Muslims have a shop, and you're able to make it to that shop, you see, and this is the whole thing, like, forget this, like, boycotting Starbucks. Actually, you should boycott Starbucks because we should be buying the coffee from the Muslims and not buying it from the kuffar. Anytime that we have Muslims that own these types of shops, clothing stores, like, like, alhamdulillah, like now, we know over here, and Hamza just told me, I didn't even know this before, we have the two brothers that used to sit on the wall. They call them Ashab al-Jidar, during the class in Ramadan. Those two brothers, they own the clothing store right by the Food Max. But then there's another clothing store that's in front of the Food Max, like across the parking lot, which is owned by the brother Nabil, which is a brother, he's a Salafi brother from Ahlul Sunnah.
He introduced me to Salafi.
And he's a brother that goes back and forth to Yemen and sits with the shiuch in Yemen and comes back here. Very good. But you see him sometimes, he sits here in the khutbah.
Very thick beard.
Yeah, he's got a big beard. He's always dressed like Yemen. Like he's dressed like he came out of Yemen like 10 minutes ago when he's in the khutbah. Like, you can still like smell Yemen on him,
Here today?
Huh? No. He travels a lot, right? Where is he? He's not in Fresno though, right?
No, he's in Yemen. He went to Yemen.
Yeah, he goes, but he only comes back probably because of the business. His son's running. So there you go. We want clothing. We don't buy this clothing from what? Go to some Korean store or something, or some Mexican shop? No, we gotta go to the Muslim brothers. Go buy it from them.
He also sometimes sits with the shiuch in Mecca. He also sometimes sits with the shiuch.
Yeah, I mean, we sit with all the ulama of the Sunnah wherever we are. Whether it's in Yemen, it's in Saudi, wherever. We sit with the ulama of the Sunnah. So, I mean, we support these businesses, man.
They said, is it Al-Chemist Coffee Lab? Yes, it is.
What is that?
They said, is it Al-Chemist Coffee Lab? I said, yes.
I think so, yeah. That's what it's called. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, that's what we need to support, man. Support the Muslim businesses.
What was the name of that clothing store?
Huh?
Legends. It's called Legends.
With a Z. Legends.
You been to it?
Nah.
Or you just seen it?
You told me about it.
No, I was thinking if you went inside.
But it's like, you're gonna get all the gangster clothes, man.
You're gonna get pro clothes.
You gotta get those like the long Dickie shorts. You get the Cortez Nikes, the long socks that go up to the knees. You get the flannel shirts. So you can start being proper, man. And then when you eat these tacos,
Probably cold right now.
nah, man, we're gonna get it, man. That's what he's gonna be selling. He's gonna be selling all the like proper West Coast gangster clothes, man. He's not selling thobes up in there. But I'm saying, like, you go, okay, you want to buy shoes, right? Go buy it from the Muslims, khalas, He sells all the shoes up in there, right?
Yeah, he says.
Yeah, stuff like that, And I go buy those, because those Dickie shorts, man, that they don't only sell them here in California, man. They don't have them in Florida. The long ones. The ones that, yeah, man, those are good. You go outside and work out in them, man, because they're real long and they're real baggy. Yeah, I love those, man. I'm gonna like try to get, if I ever plan on leaving Fresno, I'm filling up the, I'm putting a whole suitcase full of those shorts, man, because those are good, because they're real long, man. They're almost like pants, basically. Yeah, man. SubhanAllah. وإلى هنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك